probably won't even post this. Just keep this one for myself, but I kind of want this in the public sphere, just in case someone stumbles upon it. I have it to just send to others. I don't have to actually keep it. Yeah, it's definitely going up. Oh well. Well, whatever. Fuck you, Winnebago. So I've done okay with my life, financially speaking, up until, a certain point, and it allowed me to purchase one of those like Sprinter van things. I didn't make my money in like actually doing like things with your hands and that type of shit. I made it in a different realm, and it allowed me to purchase this vehicle. So, and I say that to point out that I am not the most mechanically minded, forward-thinking individual. I bought a new vehicle because I wanted to make sure that it was going to work for a while, because I don't know how to fix this. And because I assume that when new products such as an RV, these hundreds of thousands of dollars, valued, these vehicles that are valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that you're paying for this thing. So I would, and I think most consumers would assume that it is at least safe. When you buy a vehicle, when you buy like there are so many commercials out there and advertisements that are like VW. It's like, hey, this is the safest vehicle you can get. It's like safety is a concern. So take that for what you will. Like, just throwing that out there, because we're gonna get to a point in this story where it's the boiling point. So a month after I get this thing, it starts not charging. And one of the whole reasons why I bought this vehicle specifically, as opposed to like a Jayco, or there was like another company, there were like 3 companies that I was looking at. Winnebago was one of them. And a lot of people had mentioned the quality of build that Winnebago has. So I did a little bit of research. I would say more than, I'm not going to be modest in this sense. In this instance, I did a lot of research, and everything that I looked at pointed at the Winnebago. This was the first year that they introduced this kind of faster charging. It would charge your battery from, you don't want to get into 0, but 0 to 100 in like 2 hours. It was advertised at it was like 2,200 watts of power that could go through your alternators and charge the battery. And where I was living at the time was more of a town setting, so I wasn't going to drive that much. So faster charging was pretty sweet. That's definitely something that I wanted. So I buy this vehicle for the value that it was stated at, which is X value, like X dollars. And a month into owning this vehicle, all of a sudden it is charging between, I think it was like 1,000 and like 800 watts. So not at all getting to what its potential should be. And this was at whatever charge. The charging never changed. It was at 50%, at 10%, 30%, 80%, 90%. It was always max charging, which was weird because in the operating manual of the specific like battery system, it indicated that it should almost like reduce the charging if it's enters a certain percentage, like anywhere under like 85%, it to me it read like it should max charge 2.2 kilowatts, and then when it hits 85, it would drop a certain amount. I don't remember exactly. And then once it gets to like 95%, it would almost like enter a state of just keeping it there. And that was for the health of the battery. These lithium, whatever the fuck, I don't know. See? Batteries. It's better to have them between like 20 and like 80% or 20 and 95% or whatever. So it was like, but it didn't do that. No matter what percentage the battery was at, it was always max charged. So a month into owning this, it burns out. It's not charging to the potential. I take it to Utah. They basically, I forget exactly what they told me, but, I know the exact gist of what they told me because it's the same thing that I got from every place. You're fine. Nothing's wrong. And I thought that a majority of my issue was coming from these camping worlds. This one specific camping world that I stopped at. The woman who did the intake on my van was let go like a week later because under some like weird circumstances. So I was like, oh, maybe she just like was terrible at her job and fucked it up, whatever. And just like something happened where, where this specific camping world, it was an isolated incident basically. So turns out it's not going to be. We'll find out later. So it turns. So I'm going back and forth with her, and just getting absolutely nowhere. And I'm like, okay, well, we need to call Winnebago, and you, me, and Winnebago need to sit on the phone and be like, what the hell's the issue? Like, I'm telling you there's an issue. You're telling me there's not. There is. So what are we doing? And I get on the phone with Winnebago, and that's when they're like, look, man, I don't know what's going on with this lady. She gets off the phone, and he's like, honestly, I don't know what's going on. Your best bet is going to be to come to Iowa. Drive from Utah to Iowa to get this fixed. Oh, yeah, sweet. Awesome. Thanks, dude. But I don't have a fucking choice, so I drive I don't even know, like 2,000 miles, it was like 1,200 miles to Iowa, miss out on all this amazing sights to see, and just drive straight through because my battery is dying. So I show up to the Iowa place, and they're like, oh, it was your alternator. It had basically burned out. It had been overstimulated. And I'm like, okay, like, what's going on? Is there something wrong with this? Am I doing something wrong? Like, this can't be a normal thing. He's like, no, it's not. Don't worry about it. I don't remember who it was, but the mechanic was this, I think, Hispanic guy from LA that had moved his family out to Iowa. He was the nicest dude. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but he really, like, walked me through, and I was like, I was looking at this electricity stuff. It said I could like use a microwave because this microwave was kind of like the same thing as the AC. It used like the same, less power than the AC unit, and so like, could that, like, but I don't know, is the microwave different? Does it use power in a different way? Like, I'm only talking about watts. I don't know about amps or any of that shit. So he's like, no, using a microwave, like, how long do you use it for? And I'm like, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And he's like, no, that's totally fine. I've since stopped because something is fucking wrong. And like, he's like, no, that's not an issue. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay, well, I'm fucking worried about it. So I moved to the Portland area. I several months go by. I'm like, you know, plugging into shore power, doing what I'm supposed to do, charging it. Oh, that was the other thing. He was like, make sure you're plugging in. No one's giving me a straight answer on like how often I need to plug in, when, like, if it is time based or if it's battery life based, like on, like, you've drained the power on the battery 5 times since the shore power charge, you know, that's when you need to go back. Anything like that. No one's giving me a straight answer. And the best answer he can give me is basically like every 2 weeks. Plug it in, uninterrupted to shore power. Uninterrupted is the key part. 24 to 48 hours. Like, okay, fine. So I start doing that in... Oh, actually, no, he didn't mention that. That wasn't in the first catch. It was make sure you're plugging into shore power often. Something to that extent. It was like and I was like, okay, well, where I'm living in Portland, I can plug into shore power every day for like 8 hours on average. No problem. So sweet. I have that set up. And about 4 months later, the same issue starts happening. What the fuck? So I take it to this camping world in, I think it was down in Bend, actually. And I was very frustrated, and these individuals that worked at the camping world in Bend, they're not customer service representatives. They're just people that need a job and they're filling this role. But they are not forward facing. They are not people that were, you know how, like, I think last one I talked about how some people are like born to be parents. These individuals were not born to be customer facing individuals. Because when I was questioning them, this is that uninterrupted shit that I was talking about. When I was asking them how often I need to plug into shore power, something came up about, I think maybe because they were trying to upsell me on a generator, but whatever, I'm going to take them, and I'm not going to get the generator, but I'm going to trust them because I've heard this now elsewhere. Maybe I haven't, but either way, no, I think I have. It needs to be plugged in uninterrupted for 24 to 48 hours. So you buy the generator, you plug it in, you could just go to a campsite, but these guys, I think, were trying to get me to buy a generator. You plug it in for 24 to 48 hours, and like every 2 weeks. And I had to when I was just asking them how long, they were like, I don't know. Well, no, they wouldn't even say that. They would just like dance around the question. It's like, dude, stop fucking jazz handing around this, two-stepping, and just answer my question, or say I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. If you don't know, I don't expect everyone to know everything. So just because you work in this position doesn't mean you know about this like new technology, or like it's not a lead battery anymore. It's this lithium bullshit. So just say I don't know. Just say I don't know, and we can work through it together, or ask someone who does know. It's not a bad thing to say I don't know. Topic for a whole nother day, but for right now, this guy, I basically had to like in real time plan out a scenario of, I just had to describe like what I was doing. Hey, I go on like month-long trips with this van because that's what I bought it for. It has a shower and everything, so why the fuck wouldn't I be able to do that? That's what an RV is for. It's for road trips. God damn it. Like, this isn't that insane of a fucking ask, I don't think. It shouldn't be. It should not be. Based on how they advertise this van, what it says in this, like the fucking packet that you get with it, who the ambassadors for these vehicles are, like who Winnebago chooses to be these ambassadors, and how they portray this fucking this van lifestyle, or whatever the fuck. So, guys, God damn it, went off on a tangent. Now I don't know where I was. But the main thing is that now I know that it's uninterrupted. But anyway, so after 4 months, this issue starts happening again. I take it to Ben. Setting up the scenario of, and so basically what he tells me is like, you should get a generator and you should plug it into the generator every week if you can for 24 to 48 hours, every 2 weeks, definitely. And it's like, Jesus Christ, how fucking hard was that, dude? I had to like dance, or I was like, why are you not in my head? It's so fucking annoying because everyone has like their own fucking thoughts that go on in their head. Topic for another time, topic for another time. So, this guy, so I find out about this uninterrupted charge, and that's like what's going on. It's like, okay, well, can you fix this? It's like, yeah, we'll call Winnebago. They get their fucking voltometer or whatever the fuck, like the reading, the measurements that you're gonna get to take readings to give the information to Winnebago so that they can say, so that they can tell you that something's wrong. Well, when they give the readings for whatever reason, I don't know why, and this is what's so goddamn frustrating. So, just keep in mind that I didn't have the best experience with these individuals. They didn't seem to know what they were talking about, and that is the main idea. Yet again, I have kind of, it's not Winnebago's fault, it's just this camping world. Just like it was the old other camping world's fault and not Winnebago's. And I keep putting, that's a common theme here. And that is my mistake. That is what I need to be held accountable and responsible for, is putting my faith and trust in the wrong individuals. So they're like, yeah, we'll take the readings, we'll call Winnebago. They come back and they're like, so the real issue was, I don't know if they said anything about Winnebago, but what the technician, I spoke specifically to the technician, and he was like, there's an app that you can take out of, and in real time, take out of your pocket, it's on your phone, in real time, turn the vehicle on and see if it's been fixed, basically. And so the guy was like, so it wasn't the alternator, because I was telling them, I was like, last time I had this issue with all these same symptoms, it was the alternator. So they were like, it's not the guy, the technician was like, turns out this is going to be great for you. It wasn't your alternator, it was just like a $20 fuse. I popped it in there, we're all good. Don't even worry about it. And alright, yeah, I forgot how fucking funny this was. It's insanity, and it's unfucking believable. But that is the exact like attitude and tone this guy came over with, like almost to a T. And I'm like, fucking sweet, dude, awesome, thank you so much. I turn it on, we look at the app, nothing's changed, vehicle's not charging, and I'm like, hey dude, you said everything was fixed. And he's like, it is. And I was like, no it's not, look at the app. And he's like, and again, and it seems like every time I get a vehicle back and something's been fixed, or nope, no issue has been found, it's towards the end of the day, and I don't have time to fucking hang around until the next day. So yet again, this is at like the end of the day, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, alright, fuck this. I'm living up in Portland. I came down, the dog that I had in a previous relationship was in Ben, so I was visiting Ben for that reason. I'll get the vehicle fixed while I'm down there, no problem. Alright, well, these morons don't know what the fuck they're talking about, so let's get the fuck out of here. I'll find somewhere up in Portland. So I go up to Portland, and it takes months to get in. So this has now been probably 8 months that I finally show up at my first appointment in Portland. I forget the exact circumstances, but again, towards the end of the day, I forget what happens, but I think they come to me and they're like, yeah, nothing's wrong. Or, yes, I think that is what it was. So then, and I'm working this job that is not conducive to taking days off at a time. It's very much an in-person gig, and communicating with the team that I was working with in person was paramount to the success at that position. So taking days off from the office is not really an option at this point, just very commonly. So I have to basically go like a month or so out, and I'm like, that's not right. That is not correct. Something is wrong. I have to leave now. I don't have time for you to take apart my fucking van and take your fucking readings again. So I have to schedule another date to come back and take some readings, and then they're going to call Winnebago or something to that extent, or maybe that they had done it later in the day and couldn't get a hold of Winnebago because of different time zones, something like that, to that extent. And I forget how many times I think it was, and so I had to go back a second time. Yet again, they told me nothing was wrong. And I was like, that's not true. That is not true. Something is very wrong. Or maybe they replaced something and got it back up to 2000. Oh yeah, I think they did. They replaced something and got it back to 2000 again. I think. And then, yet again, it started decreasing. So I had to go in again. And by this time, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? Something is wrong. And I don't know if they told me that nothing was wrong again, or if this was the time, maybe this was this last time, where they were like, oh yeah, something's wrong. This Camping World hired like a different individual that had been working with RVs with this new type of battery, and he was able to, surprise, come back and or not able to, but he came back and was like, or he was able to talk to them in some way, shape, or form where it was like, no, clearly something's not right. Because the mechanics that they were putting on it before, no shot at them, they just had, I don't think they had been trained in this new battery system. So they got the readings were what they were. There's nothing that they could do about that. But this guy, for some reason, was able to be like, no, something is wrong. I know those are the readings, but it's not coming through. Something's wrong. Shout out that guy. I don't want to throw his name out there, but, well, fuck it. His name's Michael. He's seemingly, thus far, he seems to be helping me more so than anyone else did previously. So, and on top of that, Winnebago is apparently like, it's probably his, it's his alternator. We're getting reports that they're burning out. We're talking to, because they wanted to go through like Belmar, which is the people who make the alternator. Winnebago just sources all these parts. I'm sure everyone else in the world fucking knows this, the way that Winnebago is treating me, but I don't. So apparently Winnebago is like, they just source all these parts and put it together. So the part is from Belmar. And Belmar's like, well, it's not. It's like basically you had headphones, turned them up to 100%, and just let them roll all the time at that peak output. Like, no shit, it's gonna burn out, you dumbass. What the fuck, Winnebago? Like, why would you do that? That's what, like, Belmar is like, yeah, no shit, it's gonna burn out. Because tangent, thoughts going through my head. Winnebago is like, oh man, we gotta replace all these parts. Well, it's not our fault. It's Belmar's parts. They have to get the alternator from them. And Belmar's like, you are running this at 100%. You have to turn. You can't run it at 2200 watts every time. Of course, it's gonna burn out. Winnebago's like, whoops. How are we supposed to know that? You fucking morons! God damn it! Obviously. So what Michael suggested was like, okay, let's just turn the wattage down. Like, so instead of you getting like 2200, maybe you're only gonna get like, I don't know what they have it at. He said 15%, but that still seems pretty high. running like headphones at 85%. And I would rather it be lower and just be honest. Just this whole issue is just expectations needing to match reality. And right now, and how it was sold to me, they are not. So, like, even if it's like only charging at like 1200 watts, 1300 watts, if that's what's going to keep it from not burning out, then that's what we do. Whatever. But I need to know that going in, because that changes the value of the vehicle for me. I had to move out of Bend. I bought this vehicle in Bend. I had to move out of Bend because I wasn't getting enough charging, because it had burned out and was only charging at like 50%. I would not have bought the vehicle because I wanted to stay in the Bend area if I had known that it would be charging at half of its capacity regularly to 0. So the value of the vehicle has completely changed, and Winnebago has, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but just with all of this being said, with Winnebago kind of admitting to the fact that, oh, we're actually getting these reports from other, and this is what I was told by some individuals, and it might be true, might not, might be saying it to appease me, who knows. But like all of a sudden, it's, you know, a year later. This last time dealing with Michael's obviously the guy that told me, whatever. But who the fuck knows? I might need to get a goddamn lawyer to get this fucking lemon off my hands. But Michael comes back and he says, you know, they're also saying, oh yeah, this is actually a common problem. Oh, that's what it was. He had to tell me that because they're going through Belmar, and Belmar is like, no, fuck you guys, we're not paying for that. You have to buy new alternators. So this van and other vans are burning out their alternators consistently. And it's like, oh, yep, our bad. Sorry. Camping World. So I'm calling. So I'm at Camping World this past time. I leave from the Camping World. I go on. They're getting the new alternators. Sweet, awesome. That's the only part I need. That's what I'm waiting on. Okay. So I think maybe a week later. And this has now been a little over a year since my, oh no, Jesus Christ, it's a year and a goddamn half, I think, that this, I think this has been going on a year and a half where my alternator has been fucked, and I've been telling them something is wrong. No, it's not. Yes, it is. For a year and a half. So, this common theme of Winnebago just shirking all responsibility and accountability for poor planning of a part, of using that part, poor metrics to decide on what parts to use, what power to put into it, what power to allow it to be set at, how it fluctuates, poor testing to allow it on a marketplace because of what's about to happen right now in this next part of the story of the absolute shit show that this van has been for the past 2 years. Just under 2 years, I think. I'm pretty sure. It's insane. 2022, 2023 Mercedes Sprinter van, Winnebago Revel. Under 2 years, it's falling apart and almost fucking killing me. So a week later after this, I pull into, I'm going to yoga, going to this yoga class. I pull over to the side of the road to park. I set up I park, I close the shades, set up the shades, and I go to the back of the van to kind of just take a quick nap. I don't know. I don't think I was planning on falling asleep, but It's like the place where I just go to chill. There's not too much room in the van, so I just go and lay down on the bed. I was tired. I fall asleep, and I wake up to this like burning plastic smell, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? That's pretty strong. It's like kind of starting to set in that it's a little hazy in my van, and I turn on the lights, and all of a sudden it's like very clearly hazy in my van, and I'm like, oh shit. But it's more towards the center of the van, so it took me a little bit to like kind of get an idea of like what the fuck's going on. Holy shit, is my van on fire? What the fuck's happening? That's a lot of smoke. So then I open the van door to the side of the van. I look towards the front of the vehicle, and there's just smoke pouring out of underneath the hood of my vehicle, and I'm like, holy shit. So I pop the hood. I don't see any flames yet. I pop the hood of the vehicle, race around, pop the hood of the vehicle, and I look down, and I see flames coming out of under to the passenger side wheel, close to the very front of the vehicle. And I see flames, and they're starting to come out of the grate, I think. From what I'm seeing, it's honestly a little bit of a blur. I race around, grab someone's like. I had a. Excuse me. I had a fire extinguisher. There was a fire extinguisher in the van. I grabbed that. I put the fire out. And I'm just like breathing heavy. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Do I call 911? Holy shit. Is this vehicle about to explode? What the fuck is happening? And the smoke starts like building up again. And I look down and I see what I think are flames yet again. And I have to extinguish it again. So after putting basically two fucking fires out on this van that I just woken up from a dead sleep in, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what happened to the Mercedes? It's underneath the hood. Gotta be Mercedes, right? Well, take it to the Mercedes dealer, and they're like, yeah, there's a secondary alternator that Winnebago puts in that just looks like it caught on fire, like fried. The fan belt was fucked, burnt, toasted up. The inside's all like crusty and toasted up. Yeah, so I think it might be a Winnebago thing, and I'm on the phone like, you don't even have to fucking finish the sentence. Of course it's a Winnebago thing. Of course. So I'm going, so now now we're basically to present day. Now we're to present day where I am sitting in the Winnebago, or the Camping World. They're like, all right, well, now we need to order a fan belt, so I gotta wait even longer. Mercedes was nice enough to basically reroute, so I could drive the vehicle out of there and take it to Camping World. They just basically disconnected the secondary alternator. Left the burr one still in there, and so it's just not used. So the vehicle doesn't charge at all now while I'm driving it. And this has been going on for like a month now. So where are we at? So they finally get the fan belt in to Camping World. I go there, and they're like, all right, so Michael comes to me halfway through the day and basically goes, we got her open. There's another part that we need, another plug that got burnt up as well. So now you gotta come. So now I have to go back yet again, and that was like a week ago. Now I have to go back again, wait for the part to come in, go back again, schedule, go back again. and hopefully get this thing fixed until something else fucking breaks on this. The back window consistently sticks and doesn't close, and like the arms on it just completely shattered. The inside paneling of the van like basically just like rattles out, and the screws come loose within months of not even of getting the van. The button on the toilet seat, they didn't use they have a shower in here, you know, it's sold as a shower. I didn't just stick a fucking shower in it. They chose to put the toilet in the shower, so you would think like that all that stuff in there is probably waterproof, right? Nope, only semi-waterproof is the button, so that got short-circuited, and they need to get a new part for that. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, everything about this is shoddy quality, and for whatever reason, like, it's not for whatever reason. It's very clearly profit motive. Whatever it may be, that's what I'm going to guess. I don't know for sure. I'm not in their minds. But what else would it be? Oh, we can sell this shitty vehicle, market it as something that you can take on these wild adventures and go all these places, and it looks so sweet and good quality, and we'll basically prop ourselves up on this brand and identity and kind of like idea that the market has, and take advantage of that and the consumers, and then build a shitty van with shitty quality parts and not even give them a call back. That's getting a little ahead of myself. The callback comment is so this last time I was at Winnebago, or at Camping World, I called Winnebago, and I was like, we gotta do something. We gotta do something about the value of this vehicle. It is not, I feel lied to. I feel lied to and taken advantage of, and I don't think that's right. I think the value that the vehicle was marketed as was ultimately incorrect. And I think we need to basically renegotiate a true value for this vehicle. What I'm describing is basically declaring the vehicle a lemon. I was talking to this guy at Camping World, not Michael, just another guy, and he was like, what you're describing are basically lemon laws. Like, it's everything's null and void, this is a piece of shit, something's wrong with this one, it's everyone, it's a loss for everyone. The time and energy that I've sunk into it, the finances that the companies and the parties involved have taken on. So, like, it sucks all around. It is what it is. It's done. So that's basically what I'm calling Winnebago to talk about. So I called them a week ago today, and the person that I'm talking to is Brian. I'm not at all as heated as I am now. I'm trying very hard to remain calm, understand that he is just a human being that is not responsible for anything that has happened up until this point, at least not that I know of. So why would I blame him for stuff? So when I speak and I talk about these, what I feel are like almost wrongs against me, I try to speak. I've said you guys a couple times, but I'm try very hard to correct myself and say Winnebago. So I go through this guy, and he's like, man, yeah, that definitely sucks. He seems very understanding. Like, silly me. Seems very understanding. He's like, yeah, I even put it under like safety concern. So someone should call you back like relatively shortly, relatively soon, something to that extent. They gave the impression that a week at max would be the longest that I wouldn't hear from someone. So I, obviously, surprise, surprise, based on this entire story, nope, it's fine. no, he's wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, there is something fucking wrong with this. God damn it. Stop telling me that I'm insane. Oh, yep, something is wrong with it. Who knew? Me! I knew! You goddamn assholes. Assholes. Fucking pricks. So, God damn it, I lost my place. Fuck, where was I? So find the thread. The phone calls. So I call back today, and I lose my cool, and I would consider that yelling at this Brian guy, because so it doesn't start off yelling. I'm proud of that fact. He gets on the phone and he's like, Merrick? And I'm like, yep. Nothing. Doesn't say anything. I wait like 3 to 5 seconds of just dead silence. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey. Just like, what the fuck, dude? You know why I'm calling. So what are you doing right now? Like, what is this? What's happening? I'm calling obviously in regards to the fire that broke out in my vehicle. What the fuck is this? What game are you playing right now? He's like, basically it gets to a point of like, well, I mean, how can I help you if you're yelling at me? It's like, dude, I was nice to you the first time around. And that got me absolutely fucking nowhere. So what do you mean? Like, what other option have you given me? You've given me none. I can't be nice. I can't be chill and try to be understanding or anything to that extent. I have to be an absolute fucking prick to you guys to get anywhere. You like, well, I can't help you. Like, obviously you can't fucking help me, dude. So who can help me? Well, I told my boss that to reach out to you, and he said that the Camping World was taking care of it. It's like, okay, you think maybe you should communicate that to me? What the fuck? Stop acting like I am insane for wanting someone to tell me what is going on. God damn it. Already getting heated again. Jesus Christ. So it's just like, you're just shirking responsibility nonstop from day one of this issue. For a year and a half, close to 2 years, it has just been, well, he's not going to call back. Guess what? I'm calling back, you fucking pricks. You dickheads. It's just absolutely infuriating to be gaslit like this. Well, what do you mean you can't read our minds and know that he just was, the Camping World's taking care of it? It's like, the entire reason of why I called the Camping World, which is to open up a conversation, that's all I explained basically to them, was I just want to have a conversation about the value of my vehicle. No one is confused about the fact that that is not something that Camping World handles. That is through Winnebago. The loan is through Bank of America. The vehicle is from Winnebago. Camping World is just the middleman. No one is confused about the fact that that aspect of what I specifically want to talk about and communicate about is handled directly through Winnebago. So to say that, he didn't reach out because Camping World's taking care of it. It being just the part, completely disregarding the fact that the value of the vehicle has been utterly changed. Just trying to sweep under the rug any issue, any even mention of the fact that, like, something could be that this value, the value of this vehicle has changed. Winnebago absolutely fucking sucks, and people need to rethink their entire brand image, and that's a shame. Or maybe it's just this vehicle. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, my experience has not been great. It's been one of the worst experiences I've ever had, emotionally and mentally. It's been an absolute train wreck since day one of this issue. Just constantly not being solved, constantly not having a vehicle that works for what I'm paying for it as much as it should. Nothing about it has been aligned with what I was expecting the value of this vehicle to give me, and the experience that I was expecting it to give me. It's a real fucking shame, and it sucks. And now that I got myself hyped back up, I'm gonna call him back. Here we go. Bye!